Steven Soderbergh returns with an all-star cast in the HBO Max original No Sudden Move. Is a stacked cast enough to make this neo-noir crime drama worth checking out? A group of criminals who are brought together under mysterious circumstances have to work together to uncover what's really going on when their simple job goes completely sideways. Don Cheadle leads the cast with Benicio del Toro, Brendan Fraser, David Harbour, Amy Seimetz, Julia Fox, Ray Liotta, Jon Hamm, Bill Duke, and Matt Damon. I loved the vast cast of characters, and in typical Soderbergh style, we watch several different storylines as they intertwine, sometimes in unexpected ways. I really enjoyed the crosses and double crosses that take place throughout the story. And just when you think that something is resolving, boom, some other curveball is thrown in to keep all our expectations and suppositions in limbo. I can get how that may be a little irritating at times, but it is also a lot of fun to have the twists and turns. The costume and set designs are wonderful in this. We're transported into what looks like the late 50s, and it does look legit. Now, as the characters go on their undisclosed job, we as the audience have to try and put some pieces together just like the characters. It's not all spelled out simply for us because that would ruin the suspense. But the mystery isn't so deep that nothing can be put together without the story doing it for us. And that's not to say that everything is obvious though. We do have to do a little bit of work. One thing that really ended up bothering me, and I had to work hard to not let it ruin the movie for me, was the camera work. I think that they use a wide-angle fisheye lens for a lot of it because as the camera would pan or a character would move through the frame, they would be distorted in the perspective. So if you look at the far edge, a character would be tall and thin, but as they move into the center of the frame, their proportions would return to normal. And this happened quite a bit throughout the movie, and it was pretty distracting for me. And maybe this isn't something that matters to you, which then we can just chalk that up to my neuroses. I did though like the vignette that is present in a lot of the shots. And that's where you have a darker, soft frame around the action. And this is actually present in most movies to varying degrees, and it just helps to focus the attention in the right spots. But in this movie, it is a bit more noticeable and darker. But it also gives a nostalgic feel to the overall production. I thought the characters were pretty compelling, especially Don Cheadle and Benicio del Toro. Their dynamic is fun, but it's also strained. They're two untrusting characters who kind of have to work together, but their distrust for each other makes for some really compelling content. The dialogue is really engaging to me too. Through several parts, it felt like I was watching something that was written by David Mamet, even though it wasn't. There's stuttering speech as well as sentences that are filled with ill-defined pronouns that require you to really pay attention to the context in order to fully understand what's being said. Now, while there are a lot of twists and turns within this, I didn't feel that it was overly convoluted in a manner that made the story difficult to follow. And one of my favorite portions in the entire story is towards the end where Matt Damon has a monologue. What he says is scathing, but rings true of the ultra-privileged. The mentality and reasoning are very clear, and we can see how it makes sense to the one saying it, but it doesn't necessarily make it right. But even outside the message, his performance was restrained and well executed. He's not the only one that gives a great performance though. Each of the players has moments where they stand out, and I really like how most of them are restrained like Damon. There aren't massive outbursts. The tension, discomfort, and power really come from the ability to deliver powerful emotion while not expressing big emotion. Cheadle is great as the star of this. His character has maybe like a quiet fury to him. He's level-headed and calculating, but it also feels like he has a real fierceness to him that you wouldn't want to be unleashed on you if it ever broke through the surface. I think where this movie falls down a bit is in the finale. The story feels like it's building to some massive conflict, but when it's all revealed, it's just so-so. And I'm not disappointed in what I watched because I had a lot of fun with the characters, the continuously changing circumstances, and how the collection of characters intertwined. I just think the buildup of all that made it feel like there would be a larger payoff in the conclusion. So overall, this is a very entertaining watch, and I was engaged the entire hour and 55 minutes. The pacing worked well, and despite it being a little slower, it's right in line with a neo-noir story. There's so much to enjoy about this too, and despite thinking the ending wasn't as powerful as it felt like it was going to be, it didn't ruin the watching experience. I think this is a great watch, especially if you're looking for some original content that is acted wonderfully and told in an engaging manner. There's no sex or nudity, but there is a ton of profanity and a whole lot of violence. I give No Sudden Move 4 out of 5 couches. So what's a good neo-noir that you could recommend to me? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.